This is the last video on long division, okay, for now. So what I want to show you is what we do when we have decimals. It doesn't change much, but there are a couple things you have to do differently, okay? So let's start and just keep working on your notes that you've been taking. So let's start 9.76 divided by 8. Now, for a problem like this, because the 8 is a whole number, the only thing you have to do with that decimal is put it in your answer right above the decimal in the problem. Once you do that, there's nothing else that's going to change in this whole problem. Everything else is the same way we've been practicing. Okay, so let's do the rest of this. So 8 goes into 9 one time. 8. Bring down the 7. Now when I bring the 7 down, I don't bring down the decimal. My decimal is in my answer. That's the only place it needs to be. Okay, so I bring down the 7, and now I know it goes in twice. So 16, subtract, bring down my 6. Twice again, 16, no remainders. My answer is 1.22. Okay, and if, I know this is not the problem, but if the problem was 976 divided by 8, it would be 122. It's the same math, just there was a decimal here, so we put a decimal here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Let's try another one. All right, so here's another version. It would say 38.5 divided by 0.5. So I put the first number underneath, and I put the other number on the outside. Now I don't need that 0, so I'm not going to put it. I do not want to work with a 0.5. I don't want to go, how many times does 0.5 go into 3? And how many times does 0.5 go into 8? That is very difficult math, and there's a much easier way to do it. So what we do is we move this decimal however many times we need to make 5 a whole number. And if I move that decimal once, I'm going to move this decimal once. And I already know from my last problem that as soon as I have a decimal, I put it up in my answer. And if I need zeros, I can add on as many zeros as possible, or as I need. Okay? So, recap. I moved this once, so I'm really going to move this once. And now I'm putting a 5 into a 385. Much easier problem. So if you want, pause the video and finish. Okay. So 5 doesn't go into 3, but it does go into 38. 6, 7 times. So 35. 3, bring this down. 5. Again, 7, 35. Because I'm at a 0, I don't need to go past this decimal so that I know my answer is just 77. Okay, once you get this 0, I know I'm done. Because even if I kept bringing down zeros, I'd add zeros, and 77.0 is the same as 77. Okay, let's do one more, and I really do want you to pause the video and try this on your own and see if the decimals are throwing you off or if it makes sense to you. Okay, so do that one. I try to look normal when you pause it. I'm not sure that I'm successful. Okay, so let's do it together. 66.5 goes underneath, 3.5 on the outside. I'm moving this decimal once, so I'm going to move this decimal once, and I'm going to put it here. Okay? So 35 into 66 is once, because 35 times 2 is 70, so I know I'd be over. So I subtract. And all you have to do is make sure this number is smaller than this number, and that tells me I came up with the right number up here. Okay, so I bring down the 5. Now I'm going to have to do some math here. So let me try times 7. 21, 22, 23, 24. Let's try 8. 28. Let's try 9 just in case that's it. 5, 4, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. See, I got it. You don't want to stop at 8 because like I was at the 280 and that was pretty close. And because I don't do math in my head well, I didn't just go 280 plus another 35. I said, ooh, 280 is close. That might be my number. But always go one more and see if you either hit the exact number or if you're above it. And then you come back to the number before, which I kind of showed you that earlier. So hopefully that makes sense. So I see that it was 9 because I am done. I don't have to go any further, but if I did, I'd just keep adding zeros and adding numbers out here. Okay? All right, hopefully this makes sense. I think this is enough long division for today. We will continue practicing it next week. Okay? All right, guys, thanks.